and a big welcome to all of you participating in this webinar. Well, friends, today I am also privileged to have with me Professor Rajat Bohra. Professor Bohra is Dean and co-founder of this college, Takshila Business School. He is a jeweler, a businessman by profession, but also an eminent educationist. Apart from this, he is also into multifarious activities. He is an IIM alumni. He is treasurer of IIM Ahmedabad, Rajasthan chapter. He is also executive director of BNI Jaipur North, National CSR convener, Roundtable India, right? So he is a storehouse of knowledge, practical and technical. And he is the right man to guide you on what all you should do and how you should train yourself so that you are selected in your first interview after MBA. Professor Bohra.
Right. We also have with us Professor Jitendra Nigam. Nigam sir has been with us from last 15 years, 2006. The professor with highest rating in terms of feedback from the students.
Thank you,
the
sir.
People who like all the students like him the most in the campus. He was vice president with a multinational company called Every India Limited. Has corporate experience of 18 plus years, entrepreneurship experience of 18 plus years. So total 36 years of vast experience in market, sales, entrepreneurship, working, growing businesses is what his forte is. He's also a very good mentor to a lot of students in Takshila and outside also. He has been helpful to a lot of students, developing them, helping them grow their businesses and into trading and hospitality industry. He does a lot of social services also, right? So a lot of people are getting his help to grow their businesses, to have an impact in their life. So that's all how.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generous introduction about me.
Right. So Nigam sir, what is the agenda for today? What we are going to cover out?
Sir, I was going through a report given by AICT, the controlling body for all institutes in India, in which MBA.
Right. So 3,000 plus MBA institutes in India who are focused on management in India.
Yes, yes.
Right.
And it says that says that 50% of the students remain unemployed after doing their MBA.
Right. So if the students can see this data which we have, total number of students enrolled 2,40,000, and total number of students who have got placement is 1,15,949 only. So which is like 50% of the total number of students who have enrolled in business schools.
This is a very worrying trend, and it is, I call it worrying because generally, or rather more often than not, students join an MBA course thinking that they're going to get a good job, right? But unfortunately, at the end of 2 years, they are unable to get a job. Right. Now, when I talk to the corporate people, I've been a corporate person myself, and I have enrolled and trained and put more than 1,000, 2,000 colleagues of mine into the field. And when I think about students and when I talk to corporates, you say that students are not getting jobs. We say that where are the students who are corporate trained? So there is a gap between what the corporate desires and the level of students that are coming out of the MBA colleges.
Right. If you see the enrollment number also, the students enrollment is going higher, right, year on year, but the placements are going lower. This trend which is going up, right? The enrollments are at higher place.
Yeah.
And the number of students getting placements is again not more than 50% across.
So this is another worrying trend, that more people are doing MBA, but proportionately that many more people are not getting the jobs. So if you introspect, you will find that the problem does not lie with the corporate. The corporate is willing to hire, right? But maybe you are not fit enough to get that corporate job.
So does this mean that the business schools have not been able to understand what corporates want? with the data which we see 50% of
I have, Bora sir, I have a small concept on this, which I have developed myself after having researched a lot, worked a lot in my corporate days, and then having worked with Takshila Business School for more than 15 years now, and having attended a lot of corporate seminars, right? And brainstorming with recruiters, I have created a small model. Can we see that model, please?
So we'll go to that model now. We'll close this site and go back to that model. But you see these numbers, the placements
Are not rising. Yeah.
right, are not rising. And it is always 50% or 55% across last 10 years. Right, number of students enrolled, number of students getting placed. The blue is number of students getting placed. The green is number of students getting enrolled. Right, over the years 2018, 19, 17, 18, 18, 16, this trend has never been more than 50%. Right, this also lies the problem of business schools focused on MBA, right, where they don't change the curriculum. They have the old curriculum which is there. They don't work on the curriculum. They don't make new changes. They don't focus on subjects like data analytics and new technologies. Right. So Nigam sir will just show you how it's working out.
All right. So I have made this matrix on the criteria of hiring. What are the things that the corporates are looking for whenever they are seated on the other side of the table hiring the candidates? Now, I would like to keep my model absolutely simple, right? And I personally feel there are only two criteria that the corporate people are looking at. And they are, first and foremost, the professional competence. Now, when we talk of professional competence, it is either the knowledge that you have or the way in which you project that knowledge, that is the skill, how you deliver that knowledge. Right. So there are only two things in professional competence. Either you know it or you don't know it. You know it, can you deliver it?
Right.
Right. So only these two things. And then on the other quadrant, I have taken personality. The corporates are looking at a personality which will help the corporate grow. Now, going a little further, either you have professional competence, yes or no. Similarly, you have a good personality or you don't have a good personality. What is a good personality? We will talk about it in a short while, right? The quadrants of personality. Right now, all you need to know is that you need to have professional competence and you need to have personality to get a job to get probability of getting a job with the corporate. Now, we have four situations which come here. The first situation is that you have the professional competence and you have the personality that the company is looking for. So if you have both these qualifications, if you have both these qualities, you are 110% selected. There is no way you can get rejected because the company also needs you as much as you need the company. Right. Opposite to this, the second situation can be that you neither have the professional competence, nor do you have the personality that the company is looking for.
Right.
Right. So if you don't have the competence and you don't have the personality, obviously you will get rejected. Right. Third situation that can come is that you have the professional competence, but you don't have the personality. Right. You are lacking in your personality, but you are very good in your professional competence. There is a likelihood you may get the job, but there is more likelihood that you may not get the job.
Right.
Right. And the reason for that is that personalities, although can change, they don't change overnight. And the corporates are not willing to work on your personality and change your personality. Right. They want to accept you with the personality that you have already. And it is the job of the college or the school that you've studied in to make that personality happen for you. Right. Finally, you have the fourth, where you don't have professional competence, but you have the personality. Now here, you may get the job, you may not get the job, but there is more likelihood that you will get a job as against if you don't have the personality. And I say this why? Because professional competence can be taught faster. Right? 1 month, 2 months, you are grilled in the organization. You are told what you are supposed to do and how you are supposed to do, the parameters, right? The software to be used, and you learn it fatak, and you become corporate trained for them professionally. Right? So these are the four situations that can come. Right? You should have good professional competence and you should have good personality. That is the most important thing that a corporate is looking while hiring. Now,
so again, on this same thing, professional competence and personality, this model works for hiring, but this model would also work for people getting faster promotions.
Yes.
If we see this and with the research
Absolutely.
and data which we have.
Absolutely. It is not only for hiring, it is also, it goes along with you till the time you hang your boots. Right. It goes with you. Professional competence. Once you join the organization, you need to improve your competence and change your personality to take up the next job.
And both these skills are learnable skills, right?
Both are learnable. Both are learnable. Nobody is born with competence, with knowledge and skills, and nobody is born with a personality.
Right.
They are both made. And although personality takes time, but I think in a MBA college where we take 2 years of a person, right? You can change the personality. 2 years is a long time to convert the personality or to shine the personality of an individual.
Right. So we also saw a lot of research reports like FICCI report, which said that a lot of MBAs are not employable. You don't have the skill sets which are required. Right. Even your model shows the same, that people have competency and they have personality, right? They would get at some point of place. Right?
Yes.
If they have both personality and competency, they'll be selected.
Yes.
If they don't have personality and competency, they'll be rejected.
They will be rejected.
Right? So this is what we focus the efficiency which you're talking about.
Right.
You want to elaborate on that?
Right. Now, professional competence gives you the efficiency to work. But it is not only the efficiency that a corporate is looking for. He is looking for effectiveness. How effective are you in the organization? You may know a lot of things, but if you cannot deliver it with the group that you're working with, it is of no use, right? So that is why I have elaborated professional skills. Professional competence is just skills and knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge that you have in your mind, the brain, and the skills that you have in your hand, right? And when we talk of personality, everything comes into personality, right? Your attitude towards work. Right. Now, attitude, again, is a very broad term. Attitude includes your team dynamics.
Right.
How hardworking you are, how much ownership you take of the organization you're working for, how well you execute orders, right? How well you're not confronting the orders that are coming to you, how honestly you work, how well you communicate, how well you deliver your presentations. All this is part of your personality. And these are the quadrants, these are the things that a student, as he gets into an MBA college, should start working on. He should do his SWOT. He should do his strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Right. And then quickly he must find out what are his weak areas and start working on them. The college, and I can only talk of Takshila, here the first thing that I tell the students is do your SWOT. Do introspection. Come out with your weaknesses, not strengths. Come out with your weaknesses. Discuss it with me in person. And we make a plan of how we are going to negate these weaknesses in the next 2 years. And we work on it. And mostly I find that students do come out of those weaknesses and get placed handsomely.
Right. So that's how we have the 100% placements, even multiple offers from a lot of companies.
Yes.
Like HUL and Asian Paints.
Yes.
Right. But even the changing environment and the workings which we have right now, right? People working from home, right? Companies giving them a lot of opportunities to work independently, right? All these trends become more important.
Yes, very much. I told of SWOT, right? Now opportunity and threat. Most of the people think that COVID is a threat.
Right.
I see it otherwise. I see it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Why? Because it is giving you a new dimension to work, a new dimension to equate with the organization, equate with your colleagues, and do team building virtually and execute it. This is going to help you throughout your life, even when Corona is gone.
Right.
So you need to see the opportunity hidden in any calamity that comes to you. So it is not a dampening part.
Right. A lot of data is coming, which shows this.
Yes. One more thing that I would like to amplify here, and that is a lot of students, prospective students who want to do MBA, think that let Corona pass, then we are going to take an admission in an MBA college. I think this mindset is also wrong. Why? For 2-3 reasons. Number one, an MBA course is a 2-year course.
Right.
Which means if you enroll yourself in 21, you're going to pass out in 23.
Right.
Right. So you have 2 years with you. And in these 2 years, God willing, Corona is bound to go. It is already on the reverse gear. Right. And with the vaccine in place, I think by 22, it should be more or less over. And this time where you need to be inside, maybe your college or maybe your home, you can utilize this time to hone up yourself in your professional competence and in your personality traits.
Right.
So use this time, become corporate trained in these 2 years, so that the moment the corporate wants people, you are available. One more thing, Bora sir, I would like to add here is that, and there are reports to it, and many, that in 2023, India economy, the GDP, is going to touch double figures.
Right.
Even today, we are not doing too badly during Corona times. Right. So if the GDP grows, if the economy grows, there is going to be growth in jobs also. There's going to be hike in salaries also. So use the lean time to prepare yourself. And the moment the lean time goes, the moment the GDP is higher, the moment corporates are ready to hire you, you are available.
Right.
So I think this is a very good strategy to tide over Corona.
So that is like what we go to the next place, taking 100% responsibility of your life.
Okay, so everybody wants effectiveness.
You want to go back?
No.
Right. So we come back again with a lot of research, lot of talking to a lot of companies who come for placements in Takshila, through professors like Jitendra Nigam sir, who has vast industrial experience in companies, helping them grow, right? And we do a lot of research with a lot of companies, and with the company placements and the data placements, we have found some facets which we'll talk about right now, right? Which shows that what recruiters are exactly looking for in an MBA candidate. When we talk about an MBA candidate, right, what are the traits which we want the person to have, right, so that he becomes more placeable, and the AICT data which is there, right, how we can make these changes, because in Takshila we have been making these changes from last 10-15 years with companies like HUL, who does not go outside any IIMs, and recruiting from here, Asian Paints, companies like S&P Global, right? So why they recruit from Takshila, and why our students, or why as an MBA student, what are the qualities you should have, right, is what we'll be talking about now. These are a few of the points which we have found through research and workings. Nigam sir, you'd like to talk about the first point?
The first point is learn how to learn. Now, this is very, very important, sir. Right? Everybody, no matter at what stage in life he is or she is, they must all be quick learners.
Right.
Right. The corporate is not willing to invest too much of time, effort, and money on you to really make you learn, because they want people who are already learned.
And also the situation, the environment like COVID, which came, or other business strategies which come. If the employees are not learning, if the organization is not learning, they'll not survive.
Yes.
Companies like Reliance, when they came into communication sector, right, Reliance Jio, if Airtel and the other companies were not able to adopt and learn, they'll go away.
Learning organization.
They'll have to keep learning.
Yes.
And even the employees have to keep learning. So this is the first thing which even the companies look for. in an MBA candidate, right?
And I must tell you one more thing, sir. I mean, learning is something you need to learn.
Right.
How to learn? Right. For example, here at Takshila, we do a 12-hour teaching.
Right.
Why do we do it? It's kind of a commando course for you guys as students. Morning 10 o'clock till late night, midnight, 12 o'clock, you have to slog, you have to work, you have got deadlines, you have to perform, right? You take that stress, physical, mental, both. It's like a commando course, commando training for a manager, because this is how you need to work in a corporate environment. How do you handle yourself in a boardroom? When to speak, when not to speak? How to deliver your point? How to give a good, clean presentation? These are all things which you should learn and keep improving them while you are in the corporate. But basic learning has to be there.
Right. So like how we see a lot of CEOs and a lot of people like Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, they spend a lot of time every day reading books on lifelong learning.
Yes.
Right. And that is what even the business schools or the corporates are looking for in their students or in their candidates, that they should be a learner.
Yes.
They should be willing to learn from market, from competition, from the environment, right? From the international practices, other companies, and adopt them and make changes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So that also comes to 100% responsibility of life.
Yes. 100%. Correct.
Candidate has to take 100% responsibility of his life.
Yes.
Right. If he keeps blaming that there is COVID, I got less marks because my family members were ill, or the teacher was partial to me, or the examination day I was not well, or a lot of other reasons which they talk about, right? And they keep blaming on the events and they don't make changes to their response.
Yes.
Right, which gives them a negative outcome.
And in the corporate, there is no room for excuses.
Right. So leaders don't make excuses, and that's
Yes.
what we talk about.
Yes.
They don't blame, they don't make excuses.
Yes.
Right. So companies are looking for people who are 100% responsible of their life.
Like that. Even if you make a mistake, see, if you work, you're going to make a mistake. You're bound to make a mistake. Own it up.
Right.
Own it up, and then don't repeat it.
So this again goes to the attitude which we talked about when you talked about the last slide. Right?
Absolutely.
That every person is 100% responsible when they want to be.
Yes.
Right. Let's say if you have some family member who's not well and they are into critical situation in a hospital, you'll become 100% responsible.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So as the situation changes, we keep deciding. Right. But companies want people who are 100% responsible.
100% responsible
most of the time
to the job that they are performing.
Right.
And don't come out with excuses for not doing a job. There will be 100 excuses for not doing a job. There won't be even one for doing it.
Right. And then leaders and other business owners would not listen to the excuses, right?
Yes,
they want the results.
We have not hired you for excuses. We have hired you for delivering.
Right.
You deliver. If you cannot deliver, make room for somebody else who can deliver. This is the maxim of all the corporates. Right. So you have to be 100% responsible toward your own self, because when you will be responsible for your own self, will you be responsible for the company that you're working for and the family that you live in?
Right. So if you are 100% responsible, your life becomes more easier. Right? You are able to support your family, your company, even your society. Right. You become a donor. The second,
yes, you become a donor, and that is what is the mission statement of Takshila.
Right.
We build donors. We don't build managers. Donors are the last end of a person's professional efficiency.
Right? You can become a donor only if you have money with you, or if you have enough financial resources.
Yes, financial and intellectual capital with you.
Right.
Right. Then only can you invest, can you give to others.
So coming back from the next trait, subject knowledge, right? Again, companies are looking for a lot of subject knowledge. Right?
Yes.
And with the AICT data which we saw, 50% of the business schools are not able to give that kind of work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So where this problem is in the subject knowledge, and how, as a student, they should develop.
Rajat sir, I would like to, again, it is something which I have learned over the years of my academic career. And that is that more often than not, the teachers or the professors in a B school do not adopt a novel method of teaching wherein you are performing a novel job and the students are also not the same that are taught in the school or the college. Now let me elaborate on what I say. See, in a school or in a college, the teaching pattern is different. Right there, a teacher will come. He will come with a lot of notes, with a lot of knowledge in his head, and he will try to transfer that knowledge into the minds of the students and go. Right. This is not what is acceptable in an MBA college, according to me. According to me, when you're teaching an MBA student, you're teaching a manager already. Right. You should think that he's a manager. Like in the army, when you take somebody for the IMA academy, you don't address them as a cadet. We call them cadet officers. Right. Same way, when we are hiring or enrolling students, they are not students. They are student managers. Right. And you have to equate with them as a senior from their own field. Right. And so the pedagogy then becomes different. And what is the pedagogy? I do in Takshila, and that is don't teach. Now this must be sounding very absurd that you're a teacher and you're saying don't teach. Yes, I don't teach. I make learning happen. Right. I don't teach. I make learning happen. And how does learning happen? When you are not putting anything in the mind of the students, rather you are drawing thing out from their mind. Right. So how does it work? The class is given a topic on which discussion is going to be happening. Right. It is given to them well in advance. The students research on it. The students study. The students make notes. They form questions which they have not understood, and they come to the class. Right. I initiate a dialogue between the students themselves. Right. I become the conductor of the class rather than a teacher. Right. And I allow them to interact with each other and question and cross-question each other, and the learning becomes absolutely easy.
So that's why a lot of top business schools in India, like IIMs in Takshila and MDI and other schools, right, are focusing on case studies,
yes,
are focusing on industrial knowledge, on focusing on people from industries coming and delivering lectures, right? Yeah. New technologies.
So this is what I'm saying, sir. From going from text to experience, it is better to go from experience to text.
Right.
So when you do a case study, you are basically analyzing an experience.
Right.
And drawing out lessons from them, which are academic. Right. So the learning is faster and more retainable.
So then the student has to be 100% responsible. He has to have the subject knowledge.
Yes.
Right? And he has to experience the subjects in terms of do a lot of case studies, work on a lot of problem solving. Right. And that's how the problem solving comes in, which is again related to the case study, that how they are able to solve the problem.
Yes.
Right? Problems like competition, problems like any business which fails, the main reason is sales.
Right? Main reason is sales.
If there is sales,
not main reason, the only reason is sales.
Right.
Because the only reason for business is to bring sales, because sales only brings you profit.
So all the other facets like finance, HR, marketing, operations, everyone revolves around problem solving, right?
Yes.
And
yes,
focusing
yes,
on
yes.
increasing the sale for the organization.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which also comes to a good communication skills, which a student should have.
Very, very much. See, again, in my company, Avery India, we had a lot of jargons, and one of the jargons was, it is not how well you work. It is how much you show that you work well.
Okay.
So we used to have a lot of platforms on which you could express yourself in terms of your performances. We used to have weekly reports, we used to have monthly reports, we used to have quarterly conferences, we used to have annual conferences, right? We used to have training schools. All these platforms were to project yourself as to how you have done. And to project yourself, there is only one way, and that is your communication skills. Right. It can be verbal communication, it can be non-verbal communication, but both have to be strong to bring about that personality.
Right. So to make sales, to sell any product, to get a promotion, to talk to your managing a team, right, to manage your finances, everything, right, requires a lot of communication skills, working with numbers, putting the data into good format so that the communication, the idea which I want to communicate is being communicated to you properly, right?
That reminds me, I had delivered a long webinar on communication. The students here or the participants here, if they want to listen me on communication, they can just Google Professor Jitendra Nigam, Takshila Business School, Communication. And you will get my webinar. It's a 1 hour webinar. And I have spoken purely on communication, how to develop yourself in terms of non-verbal communication and verbal communication.
Right.
Yes,
So in
sir.
the course also we have integrated this communication, good communication.
Yes,
How to
communication is a part and parcel of our this thing. In fact, ManCom, management communication, is a subject which is taught in a very informal way, right? And everybody is allowed to speak as if they are giving a boardroom presentation.
Right. So you have any one single point where how a student can work on good communication? How they can
The only point I would like to make here that today in Takshila Business School, ManCom, management communication, is the subject that is being taken by our mentor himself.
right.
Right now, so if the most important person of the institution is taking a subject, it has got to be the most important subject. So I can't give you more emphasis on how much we value communication skills.
Right. And then storytelling skills again is what a lot of corporates are looking for, how a person can convert the data to a story, because stories sell, right? People will forget the names and other things, but they remember the stories. We still remember stories of rabbit and tortoise and other stories from our childhood right now. Right. So stories are very important.
Sir, India has been a place of storytelling.
Right.
All the sages that we used to have during Vedic times, right? Or Chanakya and other people, they were all storytellers. Storytelling is a fine way of communicating and making learning happen and ensure retention.
So India has always been a storytelling
Yes,
nation, right? We
yes,
have been
yes.
telling
That
stories.
Panchtantra ki kahaniyan and what all. I mean, they're all Shiksha Prad kahani, we call them.
Right.
They are the best way to communicate or to explain something to somebody. Even our age-old Takshila University,
Right.
right? There, the teaching used to happen through storytelling paddhati only. So storytelling is a very, very integral part of teaching. And I, for one, when I'm teaching, I teach more by examples than by text. And fortunately for me, with my 36 years of experience, I have many, many situations to relate to in whatever that I'm teaching.
So even the students have to become a very good storyteller for the growth, right? For getting
Yes.
into a company.
Yes,
And also
very much.
From getting into a company to getting promotions,
Yes.
right? To becoming the CEO of a company. So you have to create stories around your brand, your company.
I would like to, kind of tell the participants here, storytelling, take it in a positive manner and not in a negative manner, right? Storytelling doesn't mean you say anything and everything,
Right.
right? You have to, storytelling means in the right perspective. You have to project what you want to say in a nice, fun-filled manner. That is what I intend to say when I say storytelling.
So the students and the participants have to learn, right? Have to know how to learn, have to be 100% responsible.
Yes.
Right? Have to have good subject knowledge, whatever courses they have, marketing, finance, HR, operations, all these course knowledge they should have. They should be good problem solvers, right? Very good communication skills they have
Yes,
to
they
develop.
should be able to deliver whatever that they want to say.
So what they want to say, others should be able to understand. It also goes back to the communication skills of listening, right? You have to be a good listener.
Yes, obviously. You can't do learning without listening.
Right.
Listening always comes before saying.
Right.
Unless you become a good listener, you can never become a good deliverer of knowledge.
So that's how even the TED rules and other rules say that you have one mouth and 2 ears. So you need to listen twice than what you are speaking.
Than what you are
Right.
speaking.
And that's how you develop your stories.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you need to be prepared to take leadership roles. Right. When you are offered a leadership role, you have to take initiative. You have to take, and it's a risk taking also. Right. People think that if I raise my hand and teacher will ask me the question, right, I'll be in the spotlight, and they are scared of spotlight. So, what do you think about taking leadership roles?
Leadership.
And you, as an example, because you have done a lot of growth in your own career, becoming vice president at a very early age. Right?
Yeah, you're the youngest.
Yes, youngest vice president in the MBA company, right? And a lot of other places also. Right? You have always taken initiative. Right? So, what do you think about this leadership role in working?
Okay. Sir, how can you grow unless you prove yourself to be a leader? Right? You take anybody who's successful. He has been a leader first.
Right.
You cannot attain success unless you become a leader. Right? So you have to learn and hone yourself up as a leader. Right? And how does one become a leader? Person becomes a leader by taking initiatives.
Right.
And like you said, a lot of people don't want to take initiative. They don't want to take initiative. Why? Now let's analyze that. They don't want to take initiative because they are not confident of their own selves.
Right.
Either they don't have the professional competence that I spoke of, or they don't have the personality that is desired from them. And so they think, why expose? Keep quiet. Let us be a follower. Let us be a follower rather than being a leader. Right? If you will become a follower, you will be a part of the crowd only throughout your life. If you want to step out and make a niche for yourself, you need to become a leader. You have to lead, then rather follow. Right? So take initiatives as much as possible. What worst will happen? You'll make a mistake.
Right.
A mistake is also a point of learning.
That's our next point, that learn from mistakes.
Yeah, learn from mistakes.
But even if you're making mistakes, you keep learning from them.
Yes.
Right. So you don't stop making mistakes. You don't stop, but you learn.
Yeah.
And then you don't make the same mistake again.
And how can anybody not make mistakes?
Right.
If somebody is taking decisions every day, all decisions cannot go right.
So which comes to, you have a case study, which you used to take with the students on the post-it.
Yeah. It's a very good case study. There is a company which makes this post-its. You must have seen those yellow colored strips.
3M, yes.
3M, yeah. So you stick it on any page that you want to highlight.
Right.
Now, how did that product come about? That product came about because of a mistake. And a mistake which was carefully understood and an opportunity taken out from that thread.
Right.
Now, let me tell you what happened. Very interesting. This company 3M was an adhesive company earlier,
right,
like Fevicol. So they were making a batch of adhesive, and that something went wrong with that batch. Right. And when the batch came out, they found that you cannot sell this batch has gone bad.
Right.
And the reason was that it was not drying, that glue was not drying. Now, they thought, why has it happened? They came to know technically why that has happened, but they had some 10, 15, 20 tons of that material lying with them. What to do with this?
Right.
So a smart executive came out with an idea that why don't we make a new product out of it? And he suggested, see, this ink, this particular this glue is not drying up, number one, and number two, it is not leaving a strain on the paper also.
Right.
Right. So let us make some stick-ons which can be used as highlighters and use this particular batch. So they came out with very, very crimson colors, deep yellow, deep pink, fluorescent blue, and they on the side of it they gave a coat of this particular adhesive, and there it went to the market and it became a hit. Right. It became such a hit that today that particular bad batch is being replicated again and again, and it has become a right batch,
Right.
not a wrong batch.
So that is how even can go back. So we learn from the mistakes, and if students keep making mistakes, they'll keep learning, but don't make the same mistake again, right?
Yes,
If you have made a mistake, right, stop there.
Crime
learn from
is not to crime is to repeat a mistake.
Right.
Making a mistake is very, very normal. Very, very normal.
Most of the great inventions, even like bulbs and other place things, have been because of a lot of mistakes they have made, learned how things were not right, and then keep making improvements.
Not making mistake is not a very good thing also, sir. Let me tell you, once it again reminds me of my corporate days. Once we were having a meeting with all the branch managers. I used to be branch manager then.
Right.
And our chief executive was taking the meeting, and he was talking to us about outstanding payments.
Mhm.
And everybody was saying, somebody was saying, I have 4 crores, somebody was saying 3 crores, somebody was saying 2 crores. And there was one branch manager who said, I have got only 2 lakhs.
Right.
He said, very good. What is your sale? His sale was just about 10-15 lakhs. So if you have 10-15 lakhs worth of sale, your outstanding is going to be less. But that is not it.
Yes. So you have to take risk.
You have to take risk, make some mistakes, do away with those mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and carry on in life.
Right.
Capitalize on those mistakes.
Again, we go back on the same points which we talked about: preparing to take leadership, storytelling, good communication, learning from mistakes, and goal setting. Now, there was a study in Harvard which showed that people who make goals, right? So 50 students were there in the class. Out of them, 93% did not make any goals, and they were at a X amount of salary, right? Around 6% students were making goals, and they were at double the salary size, and 3% were writing the goals down, right? And those people were able to achieve 10x growth, same class, same workings, right? Over 10 years period, right? 10x growth. So why goal setting is very important?
Again, sir, I will handle it in a very lighter mode.
Right.
I am reminded of Harivansh Rai Bachchan's famous Mahakavya, Madhushala.
Right.
And these are the opening lines of this Mahakavya, and it has been sung by Harivansh Rai Bachchan himself, and I will sing it for our participants here. And it's talking about goal setting only. Right. He says, Madira le aane ko ghar se chalta hai peene wala. So Madhushala is the goal.
Right.
And the peene wala is living from his house. So from nowhere he wants to reach somewhere, right? So Madira le aane ko ghar se chalta hai peene wala, kis pat se jaऊं asmanjas mein hai wo bhola bhala. How do I reach there?
Right.
Alag alag path batlate sab, पर मैं ये बतलाता हूँ, राह पकड़ तू एक चला चल, पा जाएगा मधुशाला, पा जाएगा मधुशाला. So you set the goal, right? You make a plan to reach that goal. Whatever plan that you make, it may differ from individual to individual, depending on the skill sets that he has, depending on the strengths that he has. Right? So make a goal. Madhushala is your goal. You are going to get Madhushala. You can take any path. Alag alag path batalate sab, par main ye batalata hu. But you have to take one course, carry on that. Incessantly carry on that. Don't deviate. Make a good path, follow it, and you are sure to reach your goal.
So you have to create.
So goal setting is very important.
And we have a course in goal setting where we talk about specific goals.
Yes.
And how they can create goals. Companies require the person to be a goal setter, right? To have targets, to fix on that how they'll give 20%, 50%, 100% growth in sales, how they will hire more employees, how they'll give more EBITDA profits. Right? So that's how the goal setting works. And that's what companies are looking for in the candidates. And this is what is missing in a lot of students, right? Strategic thinking, again, people don't think, right? They do what they have been told, and they don't find out new ways and innovative ways, right? And if companies would have not thought and found out new ways, they would have not survived, right?
Yes.
And
That postage would not have been made if they did not have a backup plan.
So we have companies like Urban Club and other companies where they have adopted and made changes, found out new ways. Companies like Uber, who became integrators, right? Taxis were there from last 50, 70 years,
Oyo,
right?
Airbnb, there are plethora of companies today.
So we see a lot of startups, even in Jaipur, we see, right? Jaipur as a company, as a city becoming the hub for startups.
Very good.
We have companies like, you have Car Dekho, right? You have other companies which are focusing and coming from Jaipur, right? So because of this strategic thinking, right? So why thinking is important, and thinking is the most highly paid job also.
Yes, consultancy is the most highly paid job. See, I mean, like you very rightly said, you have to think differently. You have to think out of box. You don't have to go by rhetorics.
Right.
Right. You have to change the path. Goal will not change. Goal will remain same. But you can always take an alternate path. Take the road less traveled or the road not traveled. That is going to make you the leader that we spoke of.
But then you have to have your goal. If you don't have goal, you cannot reach. If you don't
goal with your strategy,
right?
With your strategic planning. Alag path batlate sab, par main ye badlata hu.
Right.
So that path is a strategy.
So companies want people who can learn, who are 100% responsible, who have subject knowledge,
yes,
who can problem solve, who have good communication skills, storytelling. Right? So all these qualities you have as an expert, right? We see all these qualities already in you. Prepare to take leadership roles, learning from mistakes, goal setting, strategic thinking, and data.
But I am still in the learning mode, sir.
Yeah, that's lifelong learning that we talked about. So we keep learning on day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Which comes to data science and analytics, data being most important. We used to have data where we had a lot of data points, and we used to work with a lot of data.
Yes, data is very, very important, sir, in today's business scenario.
So we see companies like Asian Paint, right, who also recruit from Takshila, right, focused on data. They had the first supercomputer before even IIT Delhi and other places, right? They got their supercomputers and workings and focused on data. They understand the consumer market. They understand how much the shopkeeper will sell, right, on X, Y day, right? They deliver 3 times in a day. And they are working on 2% profit margin, which is directly from company to the depot to the shopkeeper or the retailer. Right? So companies focused on data survive, they grow, and they're growing every 3 years. So Asian Paint as a company grows every 3 years.
I think this is a very, very unique caliber that students of today or the corporate people of today needs to learn. It was not there during my time, because during my times when I was in the corporate, big data didn't happen,
right?
Because we did not have those facilities to catch data at every point, at every nook and corner. But today we have that facility where we can tap data at every point and create a big data which gives you very, very meaningful inferences. Today, I may not know how much sugar I have consumed in a month or I am consuming per month, but Big Bazaar will know.
Right, and Google as a company would know everything about you.
Yes,
that's how it works on data science and workings.
So this is another trait which the corporate employees should learn, or the prospective corporate clients should learn, and that is data analytics.
Right. And that's why we as an institute started this course of data analytics and made it compulsory specialization. Right?
Very much required.
Papers.
Very much required. Sir, 2 subjects today are very, very important for anybody and everybody in corporate. Be it HR, be it accounts, be it finance, be it production, right, or anything. And they are first and foremost a marketing mindset.
Right.
Today, marketing, there is a slogan also on this. From sales department, from marketing department does marketing to everybody does marketing. Right. Today, everybody does marketing. Right. I will now slightly adapt it towards analytics. Like accounts department or data department doing data is to everybody doing data.
Right.
Now everybody needs to generate data, everybody needs to understand data, and everybody needs to interpret data, and everybody needs to strategize through data.
So that's how it becomes the most important or the most working towards data science and analytics.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
Execution also is very important when we talk about MBA as a course, right? Everyone has a lot of ideas, right? People have a lot of ideas, but they don't execute. They don't work towards execution. That's what companies are looking for. People who are able to execute the ideas, people who are able to get their hands dirty and go to the market and work, right? Maybe insurance, maybe other companies and sectors, right, where it is required to execute.
Yes, see, we talk about 100% responsibility. We talked about knowledge. We talked about problem solving skills. We talked about leadership, everything. Why? What is the end product? The end product is effectiveness,
Right.
like I told you. And effectiveness is what? Delivering. And delivering is what? Execution. Right execution. You may make a very nice plan. Again, going back to history. Khilji,
Right.
the great warrior Khilji. He made very good plans. He had very good strategies. His thinking was not wrong, but his execution was lousy.
Right.
So he is now today termed in the history books as a wise fool. So you need to execute well. A lesser good plan would be okay, but lesser good execution will not lead you anywhere. So execution has to be.
So like Dr. Ivan Meisner, founder of the biggest networker, right, says your network is your net worth, right? How much money you have is not more important. How many people and how well you know those people, right, is your most important thing. How you're able to influence this power of networking. And in a business school, we see, because you have your seniors, you have your juniors, you have your batchmates. So you have a network of 240 plus 240 plus 240. That comes to around 750 people direct contact, right? And then you have your alumni and other people who are there, right? Spread across industries, spread across companies, spread across NGOs, spread across government organizations, right? And this network is what makes you more strong.
Very strong. I will tell you, sir, in today's parlance, right? And like we started and we said that people come to MBA college to get jobs. Right. Now, is it the initial job that you want? Again, statistics have shown that more than 60% people switch their first jobs,
Right.
and very fast, very soon. Right. But they keep getting better jobs through the alumni.
Right.
From their college alumni, like we have a Takshila Old Boys Association or Old Student Association. They are the people who get you more jobs and senior jobs because you are connected. And you stay connected lifelong. Today, if these big colleges, IIMs and all, if they are big not because they teach well, because they have a fantastic alumni network.
And we have a very strong alumni network.
Now we have around
3,000-4,000,
3,000, more than that rather.
So summing up, it is learn how to learn, right? Which is very important. You have 100% responsibility of your life. Subject knowledge, problem solving, good communication, storytelling, preparedness to take leadership roles, learning from mistakes, goal setting, strategic thinking, data science, execution, and networking skills, which covers what companies are looking for in an MBA student, right?
Very much.
Also the focus, right? If you don't have focus, and what we see, we have this Chetan Bhagat who keeps coming to our campus also. He wrote an article about youth going towards social media, right? And not focusing. The focus is very less. And companies also face the same problem. They have a lot of unproductive timings, right? So how do we develop this focus on these skill sets? If you don't have focus, you cannot develop these skills.
See, I will go back to the first model which I showed and translate it on what people should do. No, go to the next one. So we can take a quick recap of this. Like I told you, corporates are looking for two things. One is your professional competence and second is your personality, right? Professional competence gives you efficiency to work and personality gives you that effectiveness.
Right.
Right. Now, what all do you, now can I go to the next slide? Yeah. Now, how do we develop skills and knowledge? Right. Now, this particular slide is also for all the management college and education institutes.
Right.
Now, if you want to give your students knowledge and skills, first and foremost, you need to have effective faculty. Now here, I have not said knowledgeable faculties. I have said effective faculties. Now, who's an effective faculty? Faculty who has done it and lived it all.
Right.
Right? Maybe in terms of research, as a research scholar, or as an executing manager.
Mhm.
Right? Now, they make effective faculties. So you must have faculties who are either from the research area or people from the industrial background.
Right.
They are the ones who can teach you outside the books, number one. Number two, you must have smart classrooms.
Right.
Right, because today a student is not only learning will happen only when you have a very calm and cozy environment.
Right.
Plus up-to-date environment.
Right.
So you should have a smart classroom. Maybe you can have the step-up type sitting area like we have in our classroom with LCD projectors, with speakers, right, with computers and Wi-Fi facilities in the classroom, right, a bank of a lot of cases like we have a full big case data bank, right? Then we must have management labs where students can really simulate
Right.
what is being taught in the classroom, right, into actual performance. Similarly, we must have incubation centers like we have incubation center for entrepreneurship.
And we have seen a lot of success in this incubation
Yes,
centers. We have
yes.
students who have developed companies which are now growing, getting awards.
Yes, yes,
Right. And
yes.
hiring a lot of people.
Yeah. Recently, one of our students got the Rajasthan award for entrepreneurship
Right. For solar company.
for solar company.
Right, right.
Yeah. So incubation centers are very important. Again, to simulate an environment of entrepreneurship.
Right.
Right. And then a good auditorium where people can perform and improve their interpersonal skills.
Right.
Coming to personality, what are the areas and how can you develop your personality? One is interaction
Mhm.
with your co-peer,
Right.
right? So you must have good sports area. You must be playing quite well, right?
You should have hostel, mess.
Yeah, you must have a nice hostel where because a healthy mind will only reside in a healthy body. So you must have nice hostel where students can live at ease so that they are fresh and kicking when they come to the class next day morning, right? Similarly, mess facilities should be good.
Yeah, health
Cleanliness should be there. So all these areas, through which you interact amongst students will make automatically in 2 years your personality will improve. Automatically, if your English is not so good, your English will improve because you're interacting with people who have good command on English. We have students coming from various parts of the country. South students don't know Hindi.
Right.
So when you interact with them, automatically you learn their language, English language. So all these things, if you do, recreation center, very important to de-stress yourself. So if you do all this, I think it's very, very easy for you to attain professional competence and develop your personality, which will go a long way in getting you the first job, progressing in your job throughout your life, and having a nice, cushy life.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for attending this webinar on how you can get selected for a corporate job. I hope me and Professor Bora has been helpful to you. See you here at Takshila then. Bye-bye for now.
Right. And you can put in your chat windows what did you like the most about the session or what you want in the next session to be covered, and we'll take it forward from there.